All right, we're live. GMGAG, everybody. Welcome to what's going to be another great DevNTell. So, if you didn't know, DevNTell is a 30-minute window for builders to showcase something they're passionate about or have been working on in Web3. This can be an awesome project you've been working on, demonstrating you and testing best practices, automation goodies, smart contracts, how to structure a project, etc. Basically, if you've got a passion for something, this is your opportunity to share it with the Web3 community. And today, I am ecstatic to have on the show Mario and Uri from Summer. Welcome, gang. Pleasure to have you on. I
Hello
think,
there.
yes. Perhaps do you guys want to start with a brief introduction about yourselves? How you met each other, how you got into Web3, how you found yourselves in developer dev.
Yeah. Basically, me and Mario, we met at Summer, the startup we're currently working at. And yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm a telecommunications engineer with a master's degree in cybersecurity and started in the Web3 world back in 2020. As most people, financially to gain some money and to trade a little bit. And since it was strongly related with my studies, I got, more curious about the technology. I saw the potential and I went straight to the rabbit hole and here I am. And I built another arbitrage bot back then with Web3.js, which didn't work pretty well because of front running. And also I built also a DAO, where it was kind of trying to mimic real world election systems, democratic systems. And yeah, and now here I am doing the real stuff. And yeah, Mario.
I met Uri also in our startup where we are working, Summer, here in Barcelona. About me, my background is in computer science. I started with Web3 back in 2017. I bought some shitcoins, went to the moon, then lost a lot of money. But I studied for bytes and the tech. And yeah, I minted back in the day. I saw another tweet and I go direct and mint some NFTs and joined the DAO. Not very actively, but I was hearing and seeing what's going on. So thank you for making possible this space, Snap, and very happy to be here.
My pleasure, gang. And yeah, you guys have a very familiar story to a lot of folks who found their way to Web3 just out of curiosity and getting into it, at least to start on the financial side of things. Yeah, and it's a pleasure to have you on. And yeah, let's get into the content here.
Yeah. First of all, we have to say sorry because sometimes we're gonna hear people in the background because we are currently at the Theory in Barcelona. And yeah, we couldn't find anything quieter. Yeah, just a guy when he stops speaking, it's gonna be quieter. So yeah, a little bit about Summer. At Summer, we're basically building. Let me present. Okay. So basically, at Summer, what we're building, I'm gonna present a little bit the product. Um, Basically, Summer was started 9 months ago as a community CRM for Web3 communities. And as it wasn't much of a product fit, there was a pivot 3 months into the building. And there was, because we found like there was a hole in the observability market. So basically, the problem we try to solve is there are Web2 solutions for observability, there are Web3 solutions for observability, but there's nothing that unifies both worlds. Okay, so at Summer we believe that at the end of the day, if you want to make blockchain mainstream, it needs to be accessible, and accessibility comes with user experience, simplifying things, and removing all knowledge barriers. So that's basically where we are. I'm trying to improve the developer experience as well as the user experience. So main problems we're trying to solve is basically when you don't have observability in your platform, you get a lot of problems. Like, for example, you don't know how your users are using your dApp. how like you may improve this user experience because you don't know where are the main pain points that your users may have, and this deeply impacts like your brand and decreases the revenue, and it affects mainly, it's important, absolutely very important. So why Web2 solutions don't work? Basically because of infrastructure, as most people know here, like there's the blockchain and there's the wallet. So there's lots of data that gets lost in the void with Web2 events. So basically that's the solution we develop. So how it works, Summer? The value proposition that we have is basically we want to make it, our focus is on accessibility and make it things easy, simple. So basically the integration is completely effortless and the setup is super easy for the developer as well. Well, we integrate with all Ethereum-based networks, so we are completely agnostic to the RPC communication library that you use and the EVM network that you use as well. Well, we get to concentrate, like aggregate all the data in a single platform. So you don't have to, for example, if you're using 6 EVMs, you don't need 6 block explorers. Just with one platform, you have everything. Also, we generate insights on top of all these extracted data. So all your team can make use of these data. So marketing team, business team, we try to make it as high level as possible. So everyone can understand without having to have deep knowledge into the blockchain. And yeah, we mainly focus right now on DeFi applications because they're the ones that have high volume and where transactions. It's important to know how users are using your DApp because it's about finance and it's important. So a little bit about the structure, how we work, and basically we have an SDK and we integrate it in the client side, and as well it can also integrate in the server side, but as most dApps, mainly things happen in the client interface in the front end. So we have an SDK that integrates in both sides, and all this data gets captured, gets sent into the Summer server, where we process all this data, we prepare it for you to use it, and we have a platform where you can get use this data, as well as you can also use our endpoints to get this data and use it with whatever tool you want. And also we also developed recently 2 proof of concepts where we are data source with Grafana Mixpanel. So basically, natively, we integrate with both of them. So yeah, let's go to the demo. So a little bit about Summer. Well, the intro will be here.
We looked at it this morning. We got you on the social on the account.
So basically, this is Summer, the platform. As of right now, it's a little bit under construction still. We're just releasing the MVP, and next week we're getting too much features out in the market. I'm really sorry about this noise. So yeah, first of all, I'm going to present a little bit. There's some metrics here that basically here we do some financial metrics where we aggregate financial prices to the transaction value of your DApp. Okay, basically we also something I forgot to mention. We also enrich the data that we capture from your DApp with other data from APIs, from financial APIs, about metrics, gas prediction. So if the prediction was according to the gas the user paid. And well, here we have another metric where basically we can see like all the transactions grouped by the different networks. And then we have one with active wallets where basically gets counts the unique wallets by network each day. And here's where the real stuff is. Like this is basically like just all raw data. We're just capturing the fundamental blocks of data to build on top. And basically what we have here is, and we have, I'm going to start it different. We have made 2 main separations of events. There's the processed data, which basically means like the transactions that get to the blockchain okay, which can be successful, can be in a pending state or can fail. And then the non-processed transactions, which basically are the transactions that are related with on-chain data or with events, but are not on-chain data. For example, a user rejecting the transaction, okay? And finally, down here, we have a table with all the raw data. Basically, in this case, for the non-processed data, you can see, well, for example, in this case, we have errors here, and we have like the error name, like the message that the error has, and the description, where it happened, which address was the one that involved with this error, and finally all the metadata related with the user. And back to the process transactions, we have basically, well, quite similar to a block explorer. So basically what you can see here is all the transactions that reach the blockchain from your tab. Basically you can see like who initiated the transaction, to whom it was, like the contract the transaction was targeted to, the transaction hash, block number, and basically it's just all that finally with the metadata. And as well, you also have like with the hash, okay, right now you have, let's say another one. I don't know why this one is not working. Let me try this one. So basically we link the transaction hash with the block explorer as of right now, but this will soon be removed as all the information that you have in the block explorer will also be available at summer. So yeah, so this is a little bit about the platform, and I'm gonna do a little live demo. We have this frontend that is basically the frontend of Aave. It's a fork of the official frontend. And what we're gonna do is basically it's the same frontend, and we integrated Summer with just 2 lines of code, like a little how we integrate Summer. It's basically with these 2 lines of code. Like you will just have to import the SDK, and okay, you just have to import the SDK, and then you just initialize the SDK, the Summer SDK, and it just starts working. So it's completely frictionless integration for the developer. In this case, at the Summer front, at the Aave frontend, it will be like integrated right in the main page. So yeah, now we're gonna do real stuff. So we're gonna start by we're gonna switch the network back to Sepolia. Okay, and we're gonna start by signing a simple transaction where we would supply some Ethereum. So yeah, we will sign the transaction. I hope the network doesn't get too busy right now. Otherwise, we're gonna be waiting for a long time for transactions to get confirmed. So yeah, we sign the transaction, and we can see that transactions is pending. We have one new transaction in Sepolia that it's pending with the already assigned hash. We can see here that the transaction is being validated. Okay, so go back to the front end. Okay, so the transaction got confirmed. We're gonna refresh, and now we see that, yeah, the transaction got successful and all the data got completed successfully according to what was done. And you can see that we can see the value transferred. And if we go up here, you can see that the transaction value got updated, and we transferred like about $100 in Ether. Yeah, so now we're gonna do another supply, but in this case, we're gonna supply 10 DAI. But in this case, the user was about to supply some DAI, and suddenly it figures out that he doesn't like what he sees here. So basically, he rejects the transaction. Okay, so if we go back here in unprocessed transactions, you will see that, for example, we just received an internal error, based on our time at 1744. And basically, it says that there was a message that was requested to be signed, and the user did not sign it. This is where Summer gives up a lot of value, because this type of data will get lost in the void otherwise with existing Web2 tools, with analytics tools. So we capture that, and you get to see what pain points the user are facing that you don't get to see with other tools. So now we're gonna see another error, and in this case, let's see the user signs this message. Oh, wait, let me refresh, because Aave has a problem here. They have a little bug. And if you reject the message and you sign it again, it fails. So yeah, it's a little bit slow. So we connected to browser wallet. Sorry about these delays. Yeah. Okay, so now the user was about to supply 10 DAI. It says it signs the first message. But when it's about to sign the transaction, suddenly he sees, let's see, the user sees that, for example, the gas prices are too high, so he decides to reject the transaction. He doesn't want to pay that much to supply this. So if we refresh here, we will say that there's been another error, and this same user, in this case, just denied the transaction, and we can see that it's from the same user. So yeah, so basically we provide observability on that. Also, if we change network, for example, now when we went to, for example, Polygon, yep, here it is. And it's really slow, so I don't know why. We're gonna supply some USDC. Okay. I'm gonna approve it. Supply. And now what we'll see is like basically, that's one of the other value propositions that we wanted to show you, is that all transactions will get aggregated under the same platform. So for example, if you, as Aave, you have different contracts in different networks, you don't need to go around with different block explorers, because as you can see, all transactions come to the same platform. So basically everything gets aggregated in the same place. We also wanted to show you, like here, well, as I mentioned before, we developed a native integration with Mixpanel, for example, and Grafana, and we're also working to do some in the future with Datadog and Sentry, because they're widely used analytics tools. So basically what we created here is a funnel of the user, in this case, trying to supply some assets in the Aave. And you may say, okay, but I can do this in Mixpanel. Yeah, that's true. But Mixpanel can monitor these three first events because they're based in Web2 events, like they're basically clicks on different buttons. But this last event, like if the transaction did succeed in the blockchain or not, you wouldn't get to observe that. So this is where the Summer SDK will come in. So basically, we allow you to integrate the same way as Mixpanel will do, like super easy to integrate, right, to set up these three events, plus the last event that will be completely automatically aggregated here with you having to do nothing. So basically, we will be observing the blockchain for you. Also, well, so I wanted to mention, we have a Teams feature, the classic Teams feature where you can create your own team. You can give different permissions to the users, and you can aggregate users basically with mail, and the user will receive a link where he can join your group, and he could see like all the dashboards that you have here. And well, and on top of that, I wanted to also, well, on top of that, we will be building like different dashboards from all like this is a little example that we have right now, because this is just a work in progress. And yeah, we'll develop more metrics on top of this. Finally, well, just to mention that we also can integrate with backend. So yeah, here, due to time constraints, I won't execute this. But yeah, basically you just initialize Summer, like it's a basic TypeScript script. For example, you could create a contract the same way you will do that in Ethers.js. You could create it then with Summer contract, and you can operate it the same way. So everything will get captured. And you could also create monitoring for different errors and events. And yeah, mainly that will be like the demonstration that I wanted to show you, because we wanted to also do some Q&A. So yeah, mainly that's been the short demonstration that we wanted to give you guys.
Excellent. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. Gang, if you have any questions for either Uri or Mario, please post them in the comments. I'll ask on your behalf. But in the meantime, I have a couple questions of my own. So in the case where you were demonstrating the user rejecting the transaction, in the data that you supply in the table, did it have like the estimated gas costs at that point in time, and any other metrics around that? Yeah.
We're currently capturing just the transaction data. For example, we will see like the gas usage, like the gas price at the moment. We'll get all that data, and it's currently not integrated. Like this, we are already capturing, but what is not already integrated, but we want to do it in the future, is like to sync that with, for example, a gas prediction API.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah, to correlate that, so you can see how well the correlation works, like how well the prediction works, and if you're using the correct API, or maybe you should change to another prediction algorithm.
Yeah, 100%. The more data you can pull out and have for the user to see like what like led to them like rejecting the transaction, or just like whatever, right? The better.
Also, we're going to do the same thing, but with RPC benchmarking. So you will be able to benchmark how the latency you have with your RPC service, and you can see like different users around the world, how they how their RPC communication is behaving with them, and maybe how like you could changing to another provider would benefit you. Yeah.
That'd be great to have that all in a centralized place, so you don't have to go to one dashboard and another if you're using multiple RPCs, which you have to do in a lot of the time. And I guess on top of that, when there are abnormalities in the trends, do you envision having some sort of alerting mechanism in place? Or do you think that you want to hand that off to like the Datadogs and the Grafanas of the world?
Well, actually, we had alert systems already built on top of errors, but now we are focusing on transaction, on all the data related. We need to just make a couple of adjusts, refactor, and adapt it to transactions and transaction data related. But definitely, we want to have some alerting systems and maybe notifying via email or Twitter or something like that. But definitely, it makes a lot of sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, totally. And when I think I might have missed at the start, but are you tying a person's wallet to the information that's showing up in the dashboard? Or can a person sign up without connecting their wallet and say point to a smart contract address, any arbitrary smart contract address, and have the metrics pulled on that? So an example would be, say I create an NFT smart contract, right? And I want to build a dashboard around to observe the metrics around how my smart contract is behaving. Can I set something up where I point to the smart contract address instead of a wallet address, or maybe is that like a future iteration you guys are planning?
I think it makes sense in the future. Maybe now we are just really focused on the client side and hearing all the data that is coming from the client to the node. But that could be great. That could be a great idea. Thanks for mentioning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of on that same topic, can you guys speak a little bit on what your future roadmap is? Like after you're done fleshing out the client side of things, what do you envision summer going on after that?
Yeah, so we basically right now we're focusing on building all the insights. We're creating all the value with all the raw data that we're extracting. Next week we're rolling out 2 new features. Basically, we developed like a contract explorer, like kind of like the one that Etherscan has, but user friendly. Like the user experience is way better, and it's directly connected with Summer. So basically, you can try out your new contracts and how it will behave with Summer. And so you don't need to integrate Summer before. You can try Summer without needing to integrate it first. And also we'll release capturing all the construct function and construct arguments, so you can see like like you can get more detail on what the transaction has, where was the target of the transaction. And for the future roadmap, we also focusing on building these metrics for DeFi and for DAOs as well, but mainly DeFi, and to create all this value, and as well as a tagging service and alerting service. So basically, you can create like under these conditions, I would like to get notified, or I would like to put this tag, so I can easily structure all the data I have and get more knowledge and insights. I don't know if Mario would like to add up something.
Yeah, sure. About the vision, our goal is to build a tool that let DApp owners and DApp managers to have everything in one place. So you don't have to jump in one explorer to another explorer and maybe understand what are your clients doing and what are your users doing. Yeah, that would be our goal to build something useful for DApp owners and DApp managers.
Excellent. Love to hear it, and looking forward to summer getting continuously iterated on. Looks very promising, at least from what you guys showed today. So I can't wait to see future iterations of it. And I guess if people are interested in potentially helping out build out summer, are there any current job postings or any way for people to get involved at this point in time?
Well, as of right now, we're raising our next round. So yeah, it depends on the financials, but as of right now, I don't think so. Like we don't have any open job offers. But yeah, but maybe soon, yeah, we'll definitely have some. I think more when it comes to data science and creating value with all the data and managing data and structuring, databases. And, yeah, mainly that. But yeah.
Yeah, on top of that, if someone is curious and want to chat about how Hammer works under the hood, we would love to. Our tech team is open to communicate with any dev who just want to try new stuff and play around with Hammer.
Excellent. And I guess a follow up to that is how can people reach out to you over Discord, Twitter? What's the best way to reach out?
We have LinkedIn and Twitter, as well as a Telegram group that I think was shared in the post that you made. And yeah, basically any of that, like we respond like in no time. We're always watching, like we're always ready for new messages. So yeah, all these 3 channels are good for communicating with us.
Excellent. And yes, like you mentioned, we'll have all that information in the YouTube description, as well as in the supplementary blog post that will come out later today or tomorrow. But with that, unfortunately, we are closing out at time here. Thank you so much, Mario and Uri, for coming on. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your ETH Barcelona time to come here and show Summer to the developer DAO community. And like I mentioned, really looking forward to seeing the future iterations of it.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. It's great the work you do, and just wanted to say that it's been a little bit. We're sorry about the conditions and the noise, and it's been a little bit difficult to do this. We wanted to do it in a better way, but it is what it is. So yeah.
Yeah, my pleasure. It came out perfect, actually. Everyone mentioned everyone mentioned that they were able to listen. So I think that worked out fine.
So thank you very much, Nar, for making the space possible. As mentioned before, you're doing a great job in the developer DAO. And yeah.
My
Thank
pleasure,
you.
gang. My pleasure. Appreciate it. And before everybody leaves, I do want to share the QR code here for you all to claim your Mint kudos for being attendees today. So Uri and Mario, I have another link for you that I'll share after the fact. But if you were an attendee today at the DevNTell, what you want to do is scan this QR code, and you'll land on the Mint Kudos webpage, and you can claim your kudos for being an attendee today. So you will have up to the top of the hour, so 1 hour starting from now, to claim the kudos. So get on that. And with that, I just want to wish everybody a very happy Friday, happy weekend, and we will see you back here next week. All right, all.
Thank you, Narb. See you.
See you, gang.